All right, welcome back to Slip Joint Display. Today we are looking at a Great Eastern Cutlery 85 in burnt stag. This is knife number 852211, the bullet end jack. Let's get into the model. So recently on the exchange, a post came up with this for sale. It wasn't cheap, but I couldn't resist. I wanted to do a video on the 85. I only had one example, and this one really caught my attention. After a little bit of discussion the next morning, I decided to make the purchase. This knife was well loved, and it's an older model. This is from 2011. It was heavy with patina and wasn't too beat up, but I went ahead and removed the patina from the blade. I flushed the joint and I sharpened the edge. Just my normal freehand sharpening. So, Great Eastern Cutlery 85, right? Northfield trim. This is back in the days when all of the caps were handwritten. And this one is numbered 31. So, you can see here, yeah, one of 35. So low numbers on this. This, of course, has a spear point blade, and as a secondary, has an awl. So that's interesting. So the Great Eastern Cutlery 85 is, I've heard it called, well, it's a teardrop pattern. I've heard the teardrop pattern called a swell end jack, which it is, although swell end jack is more encompassing than just a teardrop. So teardrop pattern, and then Great Eastern Cutlery has a bolster on the butt, and they called it the bullet end jack because the butt being pointed with the metal bolster resembles that of a bullet. The teardrop pattern goes back to at least 1880. Popular pattern, and I mean, swell end jacks in and of themselves, one of the things that I read was that they were popular with farmers, being wider at the butt end because it gave improved grip, and they usually had a wide spear point blade. I was trying to find information on this particular spear point. The 85 is a pattern that is very well loved in the community. I have one, I have carried it, I have used it. It's hard not to love the 85s. I mean, sometimes single blade, sometimes two blade. The other one that I have is a crown lifter. They usually have really good action, but one of the things that you always see with 85s is this exaggerated spear point blade, and I really wanted to figure out if there was history behind this, if there was something to it. And other than what I read on the swell end jack being popular with farmers and usually having a wide spear point blade, I really couldn't find anything. I would say this spear point is what is referred to these days as a fat spear, whether you want to call it fat or deep or wide or whatever. That's how it's referred to. It got me thinking about blade shapes on knives, and I just wanted to bring a few other models in as a point of comparison, just to show different approaches to blade shapes. And while this is a spear point, you could do the same thing with clip points. And I just thought it would be a nice visual. Here, you've got a thinner, straighter spear point. This 78 is beginning to approach the 85, although the 85 is wider. And then you could say the same thing about these clip points. I mean, I just feel like there's differences in style. And then of course this is a muskrat clip, which is completely different. I tried to make this comparison as basic as possible. I tried to get all long pulls, didn't really have that option with the muskrat. And the muskrat is a different design altogether, but it is a different approach to a clip point blade. So I wanted to show that. I thought maybe that would be interesting, and since I had the knives on hand, I thought it was something that I could do. But the exaggerated spear is an interesting choice. I mean, it's really different. It really is. To me, it stands out. I think that it's interesting. I'm not going to say it's my favorite spear point style, but I definitely like it, and I definitely think that it fits on the 85. As far as the stag is concerned, this is beautiful, beautiful stag, and it caught my attention about the knife right away. I mean, God, what a grail. Look at that. Like I mentioned earlier, this is an old piece. This is 2011. So it's an old one. Maybe the oldest GEC that I have at this point. Verdigris on the stag, you can see there. Beautiful stag, well matched. Size matches well. The color ties in okay. It's just fine. Yeah. There's a lot to love about this. I mean, this is grail territory all the way. From what I could find, you know, this is a little bit different for me because this is shielded stag, and this is actually the first knife I've had in shielded stag. You can see that shield there. Shielded stag used to be the standard for Great Eastern Cutlery, and they stopped. Now, with a quick internet search, it says that they stopped around 2017. From what I could find, trying to look further, because I've got several knives from 2017. I've got a stag from 2016, and it wasn't shielded. So in the looking that I did, from what I could find, the last shielded stag Great Eastern Cutlery did was in 2015. That might be wrong. That's just what I could find. It is interesting, and there are guys in the community who go crazy over shielded stag. I'm not sure why. I don't mind it on this model. The shield is good. It's certainly not proud. It's fine. I appreciate it. I often, you know, in most cases would think that stag could stand on its own, but it's cool. I can dig it. I wanted to get something in shielded stag to see for myself, and I wanted to get something on the channel that was in shielded stag. So I thought this checked a lot of boxes. In getting this knife and flushing the blade and everything, it did develop blade wrap. So that's a thing. I don't know that it was there before I got it, but it's there now. So when I closed it earlier in the video, I did it very lightly. I'm not going to continue doing that. I sharpened this out and took the blade wrap out of the blade completely. I mean, this edge is perfect, and I simply haven't carried it. I haven't even closed the knife since. I had flushed the knife with KPL's lightweight. Sometimes in using KPL, both the lightweight and the regular, it seems like blade wrap develops after that. I can't say that that's the case. That sounds a little bit crazy. But after realizing it and sharpening it, I then added gunny juice to it, which isn't as thin as KPL's lightweight. I don't think that's going to make a difference. I think the blade wrap is here to stay. Let's see what we see. I'm not running from this. Yeah, it's back. It's small, but it's there. So it's going to be there. Let's see if we can put a light on it and see it. There you go. Blade wrap's going to be there. There's nothing we can do about it. I have heard people talk about putting inserts down there. You know, it's going down in the well and hitting where the spring comes around the pin. I'm not going to put inserts in. I've heard about people peening the kick to elongate it. I don't know that that's a good idea. The kick's not doing the job now. So it's going to be what it's going to be. I can dig it. It's going to be there. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's have a look around the knife. Great Eastern Cutlery 85. Cutting, we're looking at 2.5, just under 3 total blade. And then 3 3/4 handle. With a 2-inch awl, if that's fair to say. Let's look. Maybe a little bit of gap in there. Nothing too heavy. I know when I put a light on this, we're going to see some. Yeah, there's some gaps in there. That's all right. This knife is really old. And not quite flush at half, but not far off from Great Eastern Cutlery's norm. Yeah. So that is what it is. I'm still really happy with this model, blade wrap and all. I may leave a coarse edge on this where I hit it more frequently just to bring the edge up. Like I said, this was well used, well loved. I did remove patina from it. I left it showing age. I didn't want to remove it completely. So it is what it is. I'll be building more patina on this. I think it's an interesting model. I really like, I dig the shielded stag. I like the fact that the number's there in the bolster. This is pinched bolsters, fluted, cut swedge, long pull. The awl is a little bit shorter. Here's the awl on this harness jack, so you can see the difference there. Larger knife overall, so. But it's interesting, and, I thought to myself, what this 85 is not going to be good at is any kind of piercing with the size of the spear. So I thought it was an interesting choice that they put an awl on it. I'm pretty sure that I saw that the same year they had 85s that came out with a pen. So that's interesting as well. But I'm pleased with the model. I thought that they did a really good job with it. I don't know if blade wrap is, I don't know if that came from me flushing it using such a thin oil. I think that's a little crazy to say, although it does, like I said, it has seemed that way at times. Or maybe it's just something that comes with time or is subject to older Great Eastern Cutleries. Like I said, this is a 2011, so it's an old knife. If you got some old GECs, get down in the comments. Let me know what your experience is. Have you developed blade wrap or found it on there or what? What's your experience with it? And if anybody does have any solutions, get down in the comments. Let us all know if you've got a way of dealing with blade wrap that the rest of us aren't aware of. But I think that this is, the 85 is a classic model. What a great, great model from Great Eastern Cutlery. And finding one this old and stag this beautiful is really something. What a piece to grab. I'm really happy to have this. So it'll be in my carry, in my rotation. I wanted to bring it out. I wanted to show it to you guys today. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the different blade shapes, the spear point, shielded stag, blade wrap, older GECs. We'll see you guys on the next video.